Everybody, it's Dansmonsters here. Let's draw some more monsters, shall we? Torso bringing us in there. Thanks, guys. Much appreciated. They've got a new album out coming soon. I'll keep you posted about that. Links in the description. Have a drink of the old black coffee, worship coffee. Thanks, Paul. Like I always say, not sponsored, but he's a great guy. Go and support him. Links in the description. And of course, as ever, thanks to good old Myths and Monsters for the wonderful little background ditties you can hear. He also does the music for my podcast. So check that out. He's great as well. Anyway, what do we have here today? Oh, well, we have a big, chunky, spiky-headed monster mutant drawn with a pilot parallel pen. Oh, which, thank you to Jim Marfood and the Ink Pulp guys, I discovered that you can put the waterproof ink in. So now I can draw these monsters with big, blocky, nasty shapes with reckless abandon. Oh, which has just made my life wonderful. Simple pleasures. Drawing monsters, big blocky shapes. What more do you need? So I highly recommend it. It's liquid draws, the ink that I use, and you just use the cartridges and you refill the ink. Oh man, it's just great. As you can see on the left, I have my child's watercolour set. It's not a child's watercolour set, it's a good watercolour set, but that blue just makes it look ridiculous. Oh, so yeah, I've got the 3.8. Let me just have a check. Yeah, 3.8 millimeter. What am I doing with my light? Oof. That's the 3.8 millimeter pilot pen that I'm using now. I have got a 6 one that I absolutely adore, but I use that for a lot of the sketches that I put up on my Substack, dansmonsters.substack.com. Who's not got a Substack? Everybody's got a Substack. Go check it out if you want to have a look at those. It's the big chunky 6mm one is great for doing big blocky shapes and quick sketches. I really love it. So yeah, check that out. The Substack's great. Now I experiment a lot with this picture, I think, or at least that I didn't have an idea of how I was going to colour it originally. In fact, I was going to leave it black and white, using all the other little sort of texture things that I do, but I decided at the last minute that I'm going to start adding a little bit of colour. I couldn't decide whether it was going to be watercolour or whether it was going to be acrylic markers, not acrylic markers, alcohol markers. I just couldn't make my mind up, so I just sort of went with it because I love this picture. This was originally a little tiny sketch in a sketchbook, and I was going to make it a sketch card, but I decided to up the ante and just make it a little bit larger so I could use the bigger pen, the good old parallel pen. I have been looking at the work of Mike Mignola. Certainly his like watercolour washes, which if you check his Instagram out you can have a look at, but I also got a book a few months back called Hell, Ink and Water. That is a fabulous book, and he has these wonderful watercolour washes and ink washes. And again, if you check out my Substack you can see some of my experiments. They're pretty shoddy experiments, but I'm going to continue with it because they're just monsters, aren't you? You've got to keep at it. You've got to experiment. Doesn't matter what they look like. Doesn't matter what shape they are. Doesn't matter what colour they are. They're monsters. Just go for it. As you know, that's my rule. Oh, and here is the thimble. That's, I always forget the name. The thimble, little rubber thimble. Bought a few of these. Wonderful. That's Jesse Lonergan again. Thank you. I always give him a shout out, don't I? Well, I tell you, it's just wonderful. I love these little textures that you can create with this. Like, it's like half-tone without having to spend a fortune on cutting up bits of paper. Yeah, brilliant. I love that. And I also I use, in fact, I think I'm going to use it in a minute. It's like little bandages that athletes use when they're for gym equipment. I don't use any kind of gym equipment, but I can't remember where I got this idea from. I can also, it's great, you just wrap it around your finger, dip it in some ink or paint some ink on it, and you get another bit of that wonderful textury effect, because sometimes I use crumpled paper as well, or anything to hand. You can do any kind of thing you can make a texture out of. Tape, crumpled paper, anything at all. go for it. That's what you've got to do. Experiment with those shapes and those. Bill Sienkiewicz used to use a lot of this kind of stuff, and he would add all sorts of weird textures in. So these are the grey markers I've had for a while. They're about on the last legs. I did decide with this to give it a bit of a grey undertone, just to sort of hold all those tones together and give it all that other values before I added the colour on top. It's not something I do a lot of. I have done in the past, but I think I'm going to go back to it. I like the idea of it. I mean, I was happy with this just as it is the grey tone, to be honest. But then I did decide to add colour on top of it. So, again, back to the mic. I've been Mike Mignola looking at that. And then I went on again to Guy Davis. Guy Davis did a lot of the BRPD stuff, Hellboy Universe stuff. But he also did an absolutely cracking comic called The Marquis, which is you just can't get hold of anymore. It's through Dark Horse. And unfortunately, Guy Davis doesn't do comics anymore. He's gone into monster design. What a great... so he did a lot of work for Del Toro. So he did some of the monsters for Pacific Rim and Cabinet of Curiosity. And he does a lot of the monster designs for... Is it... Oh, I can't remember. Is it El Diablo? I think it is. I'm not a gamer. I'm not a computer gamer. So he did a lot of the work for that. And some of his monster designs are just out of this world. I mean, he just goes for it. And I really want to get to that level. I don't think I'm quite there yet. But I'd love to be where he just goes off and makes all these wacko shapes and just defies all laws of nature and melds them all together in these big mutant masses. So yeah, check out his work. Brilliant. These are the... Now, B&M Bargain should sponsor me. Come on, lads. These are the marker pens that I got from B&M Bargains. Not as good as a Copic, but 3/4 of the price, and they do exactly the same job. They just don't have a brush end. They've only got like a chisel tip. They've just got like a thick end and a thin end. Not ideal, but end of the day, who cares? It's just stuff to draw with, and that's what you got to do. You find what you can get. You don't need all those big tools. I always go on about you don't need all the expensive tools. But I would have suggested spending the money on a Pilot Parallel pen. I seem to have wandered off there. Oh, I need a drink. Oh, here I am with the correction pen. Tipex pen. Well, it's not a Tipex pen. I discovered this through Ben Templesmith. He uses this quite a lot. Certainly a lot of white art, and I think he uses a gel pen as well. Sometimes the gel pen doesn't make as white a mark on some of these. Certainly with all the different colours that I'm using, and certainly with the alcohol markers. Excuse me 1 second. Coffee injection. So yeah, I do use the Tipex things. I think the colours obviously not gone quite right for me there, which is why I've added it. And of course the only problem is when you use the Tipex is you can't really put anything over the top of it. Oh well, never mind. Just doesn't matter. It's an experiment, and that's what it's all about. Now here I am with the watercolour pencil crayons. Which again I do really I need to experiment with these more. They are quite a sort of greasy pen, and they do work very well on top of the alcohol markers. You can't really see it actually on this video, but I do really like those. So I think I've got about 5 different sets, and obviously you can they act like a watercolour. As soon as you add water to it, they'll bleed out a bit. And sometimes you can start pictures off just with those, which I have done in a previous video, I believe. So, I go for whatever you've got to hand. Now, my desk's quite untidy. I have tidied it recently because I kept dropping stuff all over the place, and I had no more room left on my desk. So, what's all that about? Well, I've got that sorted. So, so here I am now. I wasn't too sure what to do with the background here. I was either going to do it in a big single. I was going to throw in the watercolour, as you can see. Oh, I did use the watercolour. I didn't think I did. Oh, look, you see. Now, this is where I was going to use the watercolour, and then I decided what I was going to do with the background. I wanted it more splattery, so, as you can see, I've scrapped a piece of paper. I've just cut out a basic shape, because I wasn't too fussed about whether or not it was going to go into the picture or not. I didn't want to define the lines really hard. So, and look, spare bit of masking tape. So I cut this out of that's some pen practice that I was using. Put that over the top, and then using the watercolour, I could splatter across. Sometimes I have used spray paint in the past, and I have got a diffuser that I think I should use more. But again, I was just experimenting with this. I wasn't too sure whether it was going to be right or wrong, and I just wanted to get that splattering effect without everything else getting ruined. Yeah, that's why I sorry, I got a message then. That was very rude of me, wasn't it? I don't know, I shouldn't do that. So yeah, and obviously I didn't manage to cover the whole thing, so you just bend it around and change it. There it is. And go for whatever you can do. And I mean, you know, I do love splattering around. I absolutely adore it. So, and it's great because if you cut that little shape out, it just gives it. And I like to keep that shape quite blocky when you do it. Oh, there goes the masking tape. Oh, I didn't get a chance to think about it then. Oh, that's a shame. Oh. Well, guys, I'm pretty much at the end of this. I'm adding a big black. I think because of the splattering, when I went a bit too far with it, and I've added a bolder black outline on it, which I should have used the parallel pen. I don't know why I didn't. Oh well. So nearly at the end of this, guys. So I just want to say thanks for anybody who subscribed. Thanks for watching. Leave your comments. Tell us what you think. Tell us if it's worthwhile me doing these things. I do enjoy them, even though this is like the 7th time I think I've recorded the voiceover, and you can probably tell from my voice it's going, because I've had a cold for about 3 weeks now. Oh. But again, I want to thank Torso. I want to thank Dansmonsters for adding the music. I can't thank those guys enough for letting me use that. Do check them out. I'll put all the links in the description. If you want to support me, you can support me on Ko-Fi. Links again all down there. Check out my Substack for more art. Check out the Instagram. I don't use it that much now. But yeah, Substack's where all the stuff is. Of course it is. So yeah, go check out dansmonsterssubstack.com. There's a podcast at dansmonsters.podbean.com. But you'll be able to see all of this. I'm going to load everything on Substack. It's a great place for the time being until something terrible happens to it, which seems to be the way it goes. But yeah, thanks guys. Thanks for joining me. Enjoy. I'm signing away there. Ooh, thanks guys. Enjoy your week, and don't forget, whatever you do, what is it you got to do? You just got to draw more monsters. Anywhere, anytime, any place. Get those monsters drawn. See you later, guys. Thanks. Bye.